Linking subsidies to intellectual property is the sort of strategic inclusion that fosters mutual benefits. The EU's decision to demand technology transfers from Chinese companies in exchange for battery production subsidies is a bold idea with many detractors. Critics, both in Europe and abroad, warn of economic coercion, retaliation by Beijing, and the risks of deepening China's market influence in Europe. But these concerns miss the point. The policy is neither capitulation nor gamble. It is a calculated response to the realities of the global competitive landscape for electric vehicles. So, why did the EU have this agreement? Because they don't have what it takes, the natural resources, the minerals they need when it comes to the production of the electric cars. And day by day, more former colonies of France are asking France to leave. That is to say that the chances of EU getting these things out of Africa from the former French colonies, the chances are not the way it used to be before. And reaching new agreement with other new countries in Africa won't be easy either. So that is why the EU is having this agreement with China, of which critics see it as a gamble or see it as a coercion, or that it will deepen Chinese influence when it comes to Europe. The EU's requirements will align Chinese and European interests in ways that could redefine green ambitions. It is a strategy that the US stuck in its obsession with tariffs, and the coupling should emulate. So it is only time will tell, because EU is reaching disagreements with China. Tomorrow now they will have loggerheads and they will start passing tariffs, and China will start flexing its own muscles too. Yes, because one of the most funniest things in this life is that in as much as the politicians, they fight for supremacy, they fight because of the greed, because they want to enrich themselves the more. They forget that at the end of the day, it's their citizens that are at the receiving end. Because I keep saying it, these politicians, they always have a way of getting the things they need for their day-to-day existence without a hurdle. It's always the average people that pays the bigger price when politicians struggle or fight for supremacy or fighting for their pocket or fighting to remain in power and all that. So this is a time too for Africans to rise up. More African countries should start learning or the need for all the natural resources they have. And the earlier more former French colonies begin to detach themselves from France and begin to dictate how their natural resources should be sold, both at local and international market, the better for each and every one of them. Because these former French colonies, most of them are immersed with big volume of natural mineral resources you can't even imagine. That when this country can detach themselves totally, just like Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali has done. Chad recently asked them to leave. Senegal will ask them soon to leave. They have even made it official. So the earlier these countries begin to detach themselves, begin to unite themselves, because detaching themselves from France is one thing, but uniting themselves to fight a common enemy is better for all of them. It is only then, when the resources of these countries are utilized fully under the demands of this country, that this country have an edge to decide how their goods should be sold both international and local market. Is only then they will start transforming their countries.